This is Part 2, Episode 200. Luo Feng stood hidden within the space belt, his consciousness connected to the virtual universe. Virtual universe primal region, within his villa. He's entered Ice Hell Star. He sat his desk, looking at the laptop before him. The screen displayed everything the devil shell monkey was sending. You can only depend on yourself now, even I don't know where the black metal board is hidden. Luo Feng looked on. Ice Hell Star's temperature was extremely cold. The monkey landed on the surface. So cold. It looked about, his mini scanner covering his area. What metal board does Master's master want? And where is it? This Ice Hell Star had a diameter of over 8,000 kilometers. Its surface was bare, only vast pathways lay ahead straight into the depths of the star. Pick a route. The monkey chose a path and sneaked in, relying on the small scanner to look about. The deeper he went, the colder it got. After about 3,000 kilometers, it finally reached the end. The depths of this star is actually a palace. It blinked its eyes and looked ahead. It was a completely purple and green mixed crystal palace that was over 1,000 kilometers tall. Terrifying energy emanated from within. A terrifying warrior is within. The monkey gritted his teeth. Master's Mazer, what should I do? It asked Luo Feng via the virtual universe. Activate your large scanner and control it to engulf the entire star, but avoid that palace. Other than that palace, scan everywhere else. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Master's master. It had no sense of disobeying, immediately activating the large scanner. It began to swiftly scan through the entire ice hell. Other than the palace itself, it scanned everything. All the information was sent via the virtual universe to Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked at his laptop and frowned. Ice Hell Star is very much like the Bug Clan mother nest. He said softly, all the areas within the star have nothing, it's simply all ice. Without a doubt, the black metal board should be within the palace. Devil Shell Monkey. Close the large scanner and activate your mini scanner and enter the palace. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Master. The monkey felt the strong energy from the palace, but it had no way to go against Luo Feng's order. He could only cautiously enter. The palace was too huge and empty. He couldn't see anyone. So cold. It flew slowly through the palace, not daring to fly too fast, in case he drew attention from the powerful warrior. Just where is it, black metal board, where is it? The monkey used his mini-scanner to search about, just as he flew past one door. A formless ripple spread throughout the entire palace. Other race. An enraged howl resounded. Purple light almost instantly appeared before the monkey. Not good. The monkey was shocked. Activate your large scanner and scan the entire palace before fleeing. Luo Feng quickly ordered from the virtual universe. The monkey immediately did just so. He couldn't care less as he fled for his life. You think you can run? The purple silhouette pointed at the monkey. Purple beam of light shot out of his crystal-like finger, hitting the monkey. Ge. A layer of ice swiftly formed throughout its body, becoming a huge ice block. The monkey was completely immobilized within, its soul imprints completely frozen to the point it crumbled. It had fallen. Actually, the moment it became a soul slave, it was akin to having fallen. The universe was like that. The weak was the prey of the strong. Humph. The powerful purple silhouette snorted coldly. These other races, they all wish to get the Ice Hell Star Stone and the Ice Hell Dew. An official, and yet he dared come here, become an ice statue. After which he waved his hand. A powerful energy flowed through the corpse within the ice as it flew straight into the corner of the palace. There were already tens of ice statues there. They were all other race undyings that had come here to explore the palace. They had all been frozen solid. Virtual universe. Luo Feng carefully examined the last scan, seeing the layout of the entire palace. This palace actually has Ice Hell Star Stone. Through the scan, he had detected a fingernail-sized translucent purple stone. The black metal board is stored in another location. Okay, luckily it isn't with the stone. Luo Feng thought. There were two renowned treasures within Ice Hell Star, making some desperate warriors take the risk, gambling it all on the treasures. As long as they managed to get one, they would rise again. The first treasure was the Ice Hell Star Stone, another was the Ice Hell Dew, of which one took extreme amounts of efforts from the green Dokas to create while the other from the purple. These two were extremely valuable materials, they had special qualities. That fingernail-sized stone within the palace was worth about 2 trillion mixed elements. Treasure. However, the more valuable it is, the more dangerous the area. Luo Feng shook his head. Ice Hell Star is one of the top 6 most dangerous spots in the Black Flower region. Especially with the 2 Doku Knights, they are extremely powerful even amongst knights, akin to the Tianxia Palace leader. The Great Being's test sure isn't easy. This palace has obviously been refined by that undying Doku into a weapon. The moment anyone enters, it would immediately sense. Luo Feng frowned. If I want to get the black metal board, I have to enter the palace, and yet the moment I enter, I would be detected. Luo Feng stood hidden in space, gazing at the vast stars ahead, straight at that one Ice Hell Star. I will definitely be detected if I enter the palace. That would mean death. Luo Feng frowned. He looked forward, recalling the 3 sector lords earlier. He immediately thought, and the Moshe Luo Feng appeared. With black energies revolving about him, he became a 3.6 meter tall green Doku, giving off ice-cold energies. Natural ability, Clone. His life energy swiftly changed, becoming exactly similar to that green Doku earlier. As long as one doesn't specially scan my body, no one will be able to detect. This is one of the many plans, and the safest one with the highest chance of success. Let's hope it works. The Earth body and the Moshe body looked at the distant Ice Hell Star, after which, the Moshe body became a beam of light. He quickly accelerated. The Moshe body had the presence of the 20th level of the Heavenly Bridge. In terms of strength, it could completely suppress normal officials. Its high law comprehension allowed it to easily reach light speed. Universe travel. In an instant. About 6 million kilometers away from the star, he appeared. It was in his green Doku form. His life energy was similar to the one before. Naturally, he flew openly towards the star. He wouldn't be stupid enough to use a scanner to hide himself. Bay Fa, Bay Fa. A voice resounded within his ears. Luo Feng was shocked, turning to look. A distant beam of light flew over. It was a purple 3.2 meter tall Doku. It was obviously more detailed and fine than Luo Feng. It flew over excitedly. Bay Fa, you heard that teacher Da Lao Shao caught another race warrior too. Ah, I only came here to pay my respects to him. Luo Feng thought fast and replied. Luckily, the language they used was the common demon language in the universe. Actually, due to the rarity of the special life forms, they all normally used common other race languages. Luo Feng could obviously use them too. As for his voice, he had heard the one before. Let's go, we can go see him together. The purple Doku grabbed Luo Feng's hand and flew downwards. Luo Feng could only follow. One green, one purple, flying down. Luo Feng had made ample preparation before. He also knew that the relations between the Dokus was very good. They were special life forms, born with endless lifespans. And life forms that could reproduce endlessly had to become undyings to achieve such a state. The long years of mingling together made it so that they valued every race member. As long as one died, even if it was only a sector lord punk, it would enrage all the Dokus. Even the 2 knights would come look for the murderer. However, the many explorers still killed many of them. The 2 held hands and followed the pathways of the Ice Hell Star, quickly reaching the Ice Palace. Teacher Da Lao Shao, Teacher Da Lao Shao. The purple Doku dragged Luo Feng and flew straight in. Luo Feng could only follow. They quickly reached the dangerous region of the palace. A silhouette walked out. It was the one that killed the monkey earlier. Wai Wu, Bay Fa, you've come. Da Lao Shao smiled, nothing like before. He was warm and friendly, but Luo Feng was clear. This was only towards its companions. If it discovered Luo Feng's identity, Da Lao Shao would definitely turn vicious. Where's that other race warrior? Wu Wei said, heading towards the ice statues. Moshe Luo Feng followed suit and looked at the ice statues behind. It's the demon race devil shell monkey, about official level strength. Da Lao Shao pointed at the statue. Wu Wei dragged Luo Feng and headed over. Luo Feng followed and landed before the monkey's statue. Ah, devil shell monkey, this is the first I've seen personally. Wu Yi's eyes gleamed. Bei Fa, you usually talk the most, why are you so quiet today? The purple silhouette reached Luo Feng in just one step, rubbing his braids affectionately. Luo Feng tensed up within. He let Da Lao Shao rub his braids as Ye Wu said beside, I too felt that Bei Fa was boring today. Are you troubled? Da Lao Shao continued to rub his braids. I'm just not in a good mood, I don't wish to talk about it. Luo Feng said. Da Lao Shao looked at him affectionately, looks like Bei Fa is troubled. Think about it properly, anything you cannot solve you can talk to me, I will tell you. Luo Feng nodded, he could feel the strong bond shared between the group. This was a very powerful bond. The information was true, the Dokas are extremely vicious against intruders, but amongst themselves, they are very affectionate. Any person who kills a Doku would be chased down by all the others. Luo Feng thought. You two can play here. Da Lao Shao smiled, if you have any matters, come to the shrine to look for me. Okay, teacher. Wu Wei said. Understood, teacher. Luo Feng said. Da Lao Shao smiled and turned to leave. Only then did Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. The footage of when he killed the devil shell monkey earlier was terrifying. Da Lao Shao was cold and murderous, now however he was almost motherly. Luo Feng didn't know that when the universe evolved, it produced the special life form Dokas at different times, and not simultaneously. Some were produced earlier or later than the others, and it had been over 300 million years since the last one was born. Da Lao Shao was one of the first 9 to be produced, trillions of years before Bei Fa and Wu Ya. Strength-wise he was also among the top 10, and it was his responsibility to mentor the weaker Dokas. Hence Bei Fa and Wu Ya all called him teacher. Luo Feng looked at the ice statues before him, of which the monkey was in one, and there was a Lei Quan race warrior too. There was even a human warrior. They were all frozen, and their souls long frozen to death. What an interesting monkey. Wu Ya carefully examined the monkey for a while. This is the first time I've seen it in real life, I've only seen it in the virtual world before. Virtual world? Luo Feng thought. The virtual skills were considered a very normal technology in the universe. A small area can be called a virtual world. Just like Earth back then, with the quantum computer they acquired from an ancient ship remains, they built the war god shrine world. This was common technology, the hard part was expanding the area. A world that had an entire galaxy. One that had a star field, or a one whole territory of humanity, or the entire virtual universe. The larger the area, the harder it got. The Dokas have created a virtual world that covers the Ice Hellstar area. This is indeed easy. Acquiring many quantum computers from the generations of intruders should make this easy. Luo Feng understood. Bei Fa, let's head to the shrine to take a look. Wu Wei said. The techniques teacher created are very complex. I'm not going. Luo Feng said, I wish to walk alone. Wu Wei nodded, right, the techniques he made are suited for us, not you all. Luo Feng was stunned for a while before he realized she was referring to the green and purple Dokas. Then I'm going. Wu Wei happily skipped and vanished. My luck sure is good. Luo Feng relaxed. I wanted to find a way to move alone, I didn't expect to get the chance so easily. I'll head to where the black metal board is stored. He began to fly madly about the palace. Within the depths of the shrine, Da Lao Shao sat cross-legged on the ice floor, his formless god energy permeating throughout the entire palace. He smiled. Wu Ya's headed to the technique shrine, Bei Fa has gone to the 10,000-item shrine. Wu Ya sure is something, she knew that Bei Fa wasn't in a good mood, hence she didn't keep him company, instead she headed off to the technique shrine. Bei Fa isn't trained in our ways, it's okay, there are all sorts of items there from the other races, it'll help him cheer up. After which he closed his eyes and connected to the virtual world, chatting with other Dokas within. To the special life form Dokas. Over the long periods of time, there were indeed many daring explorers that have come before. Even though 99% of them had been caught, there would still be lucky ones. This made it so that there would always be others that would come and try their luck. After they are killed, the many treasures and items they carry with them were mostly useless to the dokas. Normally they were all just used as decoration and toys. Da La Shah had placed all these toys within a shrine and called it the 10,000 items shrine. The black metal board was located here as well. Within the shrine, Luo Feng turned casually and arrived there. As the entire palace had been scanned in detail by the monkey before, he already had a clear idea of the construct of the place. Right now, it's just luck. He stepped in on the cold ground, his gaze fixed on a bunch of items before him. It was filled with everything: weapons, armors, special materials, etc. They were all placed randomly, and they weren't worth much, at least not to Luo Feng. Black metal board. Luo Feng waved his hand and moved the items to the side, looking at the black metal board buried below. The third metal board. He knew the moment he touched it that this was what he was looking for. Now it's up to luck, I have to leave the moment I take it, he thought. It'll take a while from the palace to get out of Ice Hell Star. Within this time, if Da La Shah discovers something off, then I'll be in trouble. However, she shouldn't be too wary of her own race. I have a chance. And from the looks of it, seeing how the board is placed here casually, it's obviously not valued. Luo Feng didn't hesitate anymore. He kept the board in his world ring and headed out. He flew within the palace, not too fast or too slow. As he headed out of the entrance of the palace, a voice resounded in his ears: "Bei Fa, you are returning? Not going to wait for Wu Ya?" "No, I wish to return." Even though he shook within, he still managed to say, "I'll come visit teacher again soon." Go on," Da La Shah said affectionately. Luo Feng couldn't care about anything else, quickly flying out and heading out of the Ice Hell Star. Even though he could teleport, it wasn't something he dared to do, because the moment he teleported, he would be discovered. This was something the Virtual Universe Company's information had stated. Even though he was in a rush, he had to continue flying. Ice Hell Star's virtual world. Within a vast plaza, Da La Shah was sitting with 3 other dokas, drinking wine and shaking his head. "This child Bei Fa, I wonder what's wrong," when he came to me earlier. He seemed to be troubled and I felt like there was some change. Maybe his confession was rejected. Another doku laughed. At 1,000 dokas, even though they were unable to reproduce, the green dokas had always chased after the purple ones, living together. The green ones were more numerous, and the purple ones were less. Also, the purple dokas enjoyed living in solitude more, hence it was normal to face rejection. Da La Shah, you said Bei Fa visited you and was troubled? I just saw him with Bo Ya and they were laughing happily, playing some battle games. Laughing? Da La Shah's expression changed. The dokas were pure, they wouldn't lie to each other. How could he have been troubled earlier and then gone to play battle games, laughing happily at the same time? Da La Shah, who was sitting cross-legged within the shrine, suddenly opened his eyes, his expression changed. A formless god energy swiftly spread outside, sweeping past Moshe Luo Feng, who had just flown out the pathway of the Ice Hell Star. His spirit energy easily scanned through his body, discovering that the fake Bei Fa had a life crystal within. It's not Bei Fa. Intruder. His eyes were instantly filled with murderous intent. Da La Shah instantly teleported and vanished from the shrine, appearing before Luo Feng. Teleportation, this was forbidden within Ice Hell Star. Even though there were powerful dokas that could do it, like Da La Shah, they normally didn't use it, relying on universe travel to visit their friends. Because, the quickest method used by intruders was teleporting. As long as the dokas didn't use it, the moment they discovered a teleportation space ripple, it would definitely be an intruder. Other than that, when chasing down an intruder, they could all use it. In all, discovering a teleportation space ripple meant intruders, or a major situation. Intruder. An intruder is here. Within the many Ice Hell Stars, about 10 powerful dokas felt the space ripple. And within the two biggest ice hell stars, one with a diameter of 13,000 kilometers and another with 96,000 kilometers, the terrifying knights lived within them. The special life-form knights, they were terrifying from birth. Intruder? There's an intruder? The two knights instantly felt it too. As long as I fly out of this ice hell star and accelerate to light speed, I'll be able to escape. Luo Feng rushed out of the pathway and continued to fly. As he got close to the outer surface, a powerful air force similar to Earth's atmosphere rushed forward. He had to fly out to accelerate to light speed. Rumble. A powerful energy appeared in the air before him. It was the purple silhouette Da Lao Shao, filled with murderous intent, his eyes fixed on Luo Feng as he roared, "Intruder!" Luo Feng, who was flying out, saw the silhouette. His expression changed. Da Lao Shao was filled with rage within. She didn't expect an intruder to disguise himself as one of her clansmen. She even rubbed his braids. This enraged her further. No mercy. Rumble. She teleported to the air above Luo Feng, looking coldly at the fake Bai. Without saying anything, she pointed a finger at him. Purple light instantly shot at Moshe Luo Feng. Luo Feng knew things weren't good. Shit, I've been discovered. Plan C. He immediately teleported. However, the purple light speed was incredibly fast. It shot through his body and a terrifying cold pierced his body, almost like it was freezing his consciousness. It couldn't be helped. The power of this beam was against the soul. However, it was completely useless against the Moshe body, which was immune to soul attacks. He vanished. What? She couldn't believe it. She had used her full strength to freeze the enemy's soul, yet he still escaped. She closed her eyes and sensed about, connecting with the space ripples. However, Luo Feng's teleport was too far away, exceeding her area. Da Lao Shao, don't make such a mistake again, leave it to me. A booming voice resounded within her mind. Leader, he stole a black metal board. I know, leave it to me. Yes, leader. She nodded, feeling unjust within. Yet she still didn't think that the thief could get away. As she teleported, the terrifying two knights had felt it. Even if she let the thief get away, with the two knights, any one of them could easily catch up to him. Moshe Luo Feng appeared in the space far away before vanishing again. He appeared in the air above a continent before vanishing again. Madly teleporting about, every time over 1 light year away, as he didn't care about the dangers, and was simply fleeing as fast as he could. In the air above a continent, a powerful green silhouette stood in space, his eyes smiling. This punk sure is fast. However, he only knows how to teleport. Compared to grasping the entire space laws, it's an entire different level. How can he escape? He began to sense the ripples all about, easily finding a spot where there were teleporting ripples. There. He flashed and began to hunt. Once one comprehended teleportation, whether it was a sector lord or emperor, the distance would all be about the same. It was a reflection of the comprehension of the space laws. Communing with the space ripples and teleporting via the ripples to a faraway location. Comprehending teleportation would allow one to usually sense up to 1 light year away in a particular direction. However, sensing in all directions, that was much more taxing. And the distance wouldn't even be 1% of working in one direction. Hence, as Luo Feng fled, Da Lao Shao had no way to guess where he teleported to. The knights, however, were different. Once one fully comprehends the space laws, the knights' teleportation was much more powerful. They could easily teleport over 1,000 light years. Even sensing in all directions, they could cover over 10 light years in area. Luckily, Luo Feng teleported constantly, changing his direction over and over. It would take the knight quite some effort to catch him. Moshe Luo Feng appeared above a mountain range, his hands and feet landing. He once again vanished. A green silhouette appeared right after before vanishing again. One was fleeing while the other one chased. This punk is really not stopping. The green silhouette chased for 10 seconds before he got impatient. As they teleported 10 times per second, and he had originally wanted to easily capture this intruder. It was much harder now. He could only teleport after he detected where Luo Feng was. The moment he confirmed, he teleported. However, that time alone was enough for Luo Feng to get away. I'll have to use some energy. He stood in space, surrounded by little black mountains. There were many ship remains amongst the mountains. This was one of the dangerous regions in the Black Flower region. Of course, to the knights, he couldn't be bothered. He unleashed his move. Rumble. A blinding green light shot out from his body. He instantly became a star, shooting lights in all directions. He gave off such powerful energy to disturb the space ripples about. With a knight's strength, he could control the entire space laws, allowing him to easily seal and disrupt space ripples. Just affecting the ripples was easy enough, but it had to be within a fixed area. He had burnt some of his undying energy, and his strength had soared to an unbelievable level. Almost like plucking a string, rippling throughout. The knight had used his full strength to disrupt the space ripples around, spreading over 10 light years. A light year was a huge area. In a normal fight, knights had no way to affect 1 light year in area. Even if it was simply affecting the space ripples, they still had to burn some undying energy to affect over 10 light years. Amidst the mist, Moshe Luophone was about to teleport when he turned and sighed. He clearly felt the space ripples affected, with broken lines all over. Even though they would recover quickly, for now, he couldn't teleport. Rumble. A powerful pressure extended over, covering the space. The area around naturally had its space locked down too. The powerful seal made Luophone immobile, almost like a full binding. Greetings, knight. Moshe Luophone shouted. Return to your original form. I don't like killing my own clansmen. The voice boomed as the green silhouette appeared before him. He was about the same height as the other Dokas, but his pressure was much stronger. The willpower and strength he gave off shocked even Luophone. Since you want to kill me, why order me to do something? Luophone looked at the knight before him. The Green Knight looked at him. You sure got some guts. As a Moshe clansman, you aren't afraid of soul control. Yes. Luophone nodded. The Moshe clansman didn't have a soul, naturally it couldn't be controlled. This was the difference in life forms itself. Luophone had checked up on this long ago. He was clear on this. Speak, Moshe genius. The knight looked at him. A sector lord and yet you can teleport. Even amongst the Moshe, you are definitely an absolute genius, but you came to us. What I'm curious about is, from the way you kept teleporting, you knew well you couldn't escape, yet you still did something so useless, forcing me to burn 0.1% of my undying body. You should know that doing so would only enrage me. Knowing there's no escape and enraging a knight, that's not wise at all. Yes? Moshe Luophone smiled. Kill me and you'll know the reason. Don't tell me. The knight gave off murderous energy, revealing a look of rage. He waved his hand and with a rumble, a formless slap smashed the Moshe body, instantly reducing him to nothing. Even the normal world rings and devices etc. were all destroyed. Nothing. That black metal board, it's gone. The knight looked about. He had destroyed everything and even amongst the fragments, he didn't find anything. His expression changed. Within the entire Ice Hell Star, the other Dokas all didn't know the importance of the black metal board, however only he and the other Purple Knight knew. I've been played. He raged. He must have placed it somewhere else when he teleported. In another area of the Black Flower region, thousands of light years away from Ice Hell Star. A living ship was floating. Within, Luophone stood in the control room, wielding the stone in his hand, smiling. I've got it. To get this 9-volume manual, he had come up with many plans. Just the Moshe plan alone had 6 side plans. Enough to deal with all sorts of predicaments. This plan C had taken in consideration the knight's not being willing to burn his undying energy. According to this plan, if the Moshe body were to be discovered, immediately take the board and teleport away. After that, teleport over and over. The process had to be fast. 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 No hesitation. Teleporting over and over. Even if the knight wanted to kill him, he wouldn't bear to burn his undying energy immediately. Only when he got impatient would he do so. However, in truth, within the mountain range from before, Luophone had arranged for a slave to be in a world ring there, hiding within. When the Moshe teleported there and landed on the mountain, he would place a stone-like world ring there and teleport away. The Green Knight would keep chasing, not knowing that the slave had taken the ring away and gone through universe travel. After 10 seconds in the dark universe, they would have already reached a far enough place. I've got the item, time to leave. I lost an official devil shell monkey and the Mosha body this time. However, it would just take some energy to reproduce him. Luofeng wielded the stone and smiled. Suddenly, a cold energy engulfed the area. Luofeng's expression changed, turning. A beautiful purple-robed demon stood behind him. Luofeng was stunned. He knew just who this was. It was the other Knight of Ice Hellstar, the Purple Doku Knight. Purple Doku Knight? Luofeng hated the fact that his plans still fell short. Now he was in trouble. He bowed slightly to express respect. Greetings, Purple Doku Knight. Little punk, you sure are impressive. The knight looked at him and smiled elusive. You actually managed to swindle the other knight and make him waste his time. No matter, I still couldn't escape from you. Luofeng shook his head, after which he turned curiously to him. I wonder if you could explain to me how you managed to find me even after I got free from the Green Knight. The Purple Knight looked curiously at him. She didn't expect the mastermind behind the stealing of the useless black metal board to actually chat with her so casually. It was almost like he was speaking to his elder. Wasn't he worried at all? Worried that he would be killed? Wasn't he worried that he would be made a soul slave? Purple Knight. Luofeng was being stared down. Aren't you afraid I'd kill you, that I'll enslave you? The knight asked. At this point, I have no way to resist. What's the use? Luofeng said. Interesting. The Purple Knight smiled. You little punk, you sent the Mosha to steal, and he stole nothing but the useless special metal board. Even though it's special, it's still useless. Da Lao Shah had the Ice Hell Stone. It's interesting you didn't go for that instead. My underling was useless. His perspectives were too low and he knew too little about the treasures of the universe. When he saw the black metal board, he thought it was special and thought it was a treasure, hence he took it. Luofeng shook his head. But he knew too, the stone would be guarded well, he'd have no chance of stealing it. He is smart. If he went to steal the Ice Hell Stone, Da Lao Shah would immediately suspect he was the fake BFA. The knight nodded. I chanced upon this metal board back then, however after studying it for a while, I didn't find any use for it. Hence I took it as a toy and passed it around. It finally ended up with Da Lao Shah. Luofeng was stunned. Toy? Indeed, the 9-volume manual within the metal board was limited by the universe laws. Only one person could use it. To others, it was completely useless. The two knights probably didn't recognize its importance and took it as a toy. I wonder if the knight can release me. I'm willing to pay for my actions. Luofeng bowed. This wasn't something he thought on the fly, but rather from the information he gathered from the Virtual Universe Company. The two knights liked to collect treasures. Some intruders that had been caught had used treasures to exchange for their lives before. Release you? The Purple Knight looked curiously at Luofeng. Seems right, that black metal board is but a toy. I'll sell it to you, but the cost won't be small. Please speak. Luofeng was gleeful within. There were pros and cons to the deal, but he didn't expect to get lucky enough to get to keep the metal board. Seeing your moves, your background must not be ordinary, the cost would naturally. Her expression suddenly changed. She glanced at him and said seriously, Punk, you actually forced Green Knight to burn part of his undying body and you've completely enraged him. It looks like I cannot let you go. Luofeng's expression changed. He naturally knew that the Mosha had completely enraged the Green Knight. Come with me. The Purple Knight didn't say any more. A formless space ripple spread throughout. There were 3 consecutive teleports, and each of them over 1,000 light years. When Luofeng's sight finally regained stability, they had already reached an incredibly cold planet. He looked around. This vast ice planet had many ice hell stars in the sky. This is on an ice hell star, and it's an extremely huge one. It's where either of the knights live. Luofeng thought. Where's my ship? He was originally in the ship, yet now it was gone. Looks like they took my living ship away. Rumble. A powerful energy appeared in the air and stared down at Luo Feng. It was the Green Knight. Ha ha, you sure got humiliated. Purple Knight laughed. HMPH, this human. The Green Knight landed and stared at him. You sent the Mosha? Where's his main body? He actually sacrificed himself so easily, that must not be its main body. Green Knight, the Mosha's real body is my friend. Luo Feng said respectfully, I specially got his help this time and I already owe him a favor. How can I rat him out? The Purple Knight spoke beside, stupid, if you just say a special person, like if this friend was the disciple of the huge axe founder, or the disciple of the primal chaos city leader, anyway, any disciple of the super warriors of humanity. I wonder if he dare go take revenge. The Purple Knight mocked. HMPH. The Green Knight stared at Luo Feng. Despicable. If I can just kill you like that, it would be too easy. Suddenly, in the distant space, ripples occurred. 10 silhouettes had come through universe travel over. Some were green while others were purple. They all landed down. And the numbers kept growing, more ripples kept appearing about. This is the one that acted as me. Bei Fa stared at Luo Feng. The one that did has already been killed. This is the mastermind. The Green Knight said. Leader is so powerful, killing that imposter and catching the mastermind. Bei Fa said excitedly. Beside him the group of sector lords all stared at Luo Feng like he was some rare goods. The group of Dokas were all close and affectionate. Their treatment of the knights weren't how sector lords usually treated knights, with fear and respect. However, it was almost like respect for their grandfather. Leader, you killed that intruder. He even held my hand. Wu Yue seemed unhappy. That was an imposter. Bei Fa shouted, I'm the real Bei Fa. I know. Wu Yue said. The 100 Dokas all cheered. Da Lao Shao stared at Luo Feng, his eyes filled with murderous intent. It was obvious he was still angry from being deceived earlier. Two leaders, I wonder how you will deal with this human. Da Lao Shao asked. Immediately the rest of the Dokas all turned to the two leaders. The Green Knight looked at the Purple Knight beside. The Purple Knight laughed. You seem enraged, you decide. HMPH. The Green Knight stared at him. We have to slowly destroy him. Da Lao Shao, you will personally bind him, send him to the ice hell. Yes? Ice hell. This intruder sure is unlucky. The ice hell is about to be opened again. The other sector Lord Dokas all cheered. Luo Feng's expression was ugly. He thought within, ice hell? It's just as I thought. As long as they don't kill me, they definitely lock me in the ice hell. There's still a chance. I don't have to get the city leaders' help yet. Why was this region called Ice Hell Star? The ice-cold planets, why not simply call them ice stars, instead, Ice Hell Stars? Why the word hell? It was because of a legendary place within the area, that was Ice Hell. According to the information he had gathered, Ice Hell was a powerful special weapon similar to the sealed stars. It could lock up many warriors within. One of the two knights was in control of the weapon. Go? Da Lao Shao and the others stared at him. Luo Feng didn't resist. He allowed himself to be chained. What a joke! Da Lao Shao and the other two Undyings were the top 10 warriors of the Dokas. Their god bodies were all 10 million times stronger than a sector lord's. With body and spirit energy amplification and etc., these three were all as strong as true Yang. These were special life forms. Their basic genetics were much higher than humans, plus these three were the most exceptional of the Undyings. Naturally they were extremely powerful. Before, the Mosha had escaped because soul attacks were useless against it, and with its teleportation, even true Yang wouldn't have been able to chase him. It had to be a knight with a full grasp of the space laws. Only such a warrior could have caught him. Within the dark universe, a ship was flying slowly. Within the control room stood Chen Chen. Within his world ring, Howl, the golden horned beast's huge body was lying there. Its internal world was producing another Mosha body. Black-cloaked Luo Feng appeared beside. Master. Fu Shui and the others bowed respectfully. Luckily I left a back door, he said softly. I knew the Great Being's mission wouldn't be that simple, hence my main core had to absolutely stay safe. After all, the moment I fall, even if the Primal Chaos City leader reversed time and space to revive me, I wouldn't be able to have the Star Tower and other treasures. I'd also lose the 9-volume manual. Of all the plans, there was one simple prerequisite: the main core had to be safe. Hence, when the Mosha body was in action, the Earth body had separated from the Beast's body. The Beast carried the main core and Chen Chen and the others, flying in the dark universe. No matter how my plans fail, at least the main core will be safe. The Earth body has the Tower Pearl guarding the soul, hence he cannot be soul-controlled. If a powerful attack hits, to protect the many treasures on the Earth body, I'll get the help of Teacher. Black Cloth Luo Feng thought, there's no need at the moment, the two of them haven't discovered my true treasures, they are simply locking me in the ice hell. This video will end here.